Good morning, Unity. We are having a winter at-home service today. We decided to have online only due to the weather forecast, but I'm looking out my window and it's not that snowy. But we're here. My name is Patrick. I'm grateful to be with you all. I'm kind of the behind the scenes person, but today I'm up front and behind the scenes. So let's get started with some music from wonderful Amy and Jesse.
Good morning, Unity on the Lakeshore. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for having us. Let's get this party started. Let's move our bodies to this wonderful song. We are one big family.
Here we go. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are loved, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let's do that again now. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet now. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. Clap along now. See the light in everybody you meet. Let's go. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Amy and Jesse, for that wonderful music, as always. As I shared, we are online only today. This is, once again, I'm Patrick. And after service today, we are going to have a Zoom room hangout. And I'm putting that information in the chat. It is also on our website and it is also on our Facebook page, the link. So join us afterwards. We'll just gather, hang out, and have a little conversation and see what's on people's mind after Mark's talk. So, Unity is a non denominational spiritual community anchored in loving acceptance. If you are here for the first time, please know that whoever you are or wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And now we will do a couple of readings. Please join me in the mission statement. You can see it on the screen here. We embrace all people and honor all paths to God. We create a sacred space to raise the awareness and consciousness of the one spirit in us all. We anchor ourselves in affirmative prayer, forgiveness, generous sharing, and loving community in service to our spiritual awakening. And next is our affirmation of faith. There is only one presence and one power, as me, as the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. And now we're going to do a few things a little different. We're cutting out like the Christ candle and things like that. So we're going to go right to Amy and Jesse, another song from them, and then followed by Reverend Mark's talk.
You can hold my hand when you need to let go. I can be a mountain when you're feeling valley low. I can be a street light showing you the way home. If you can hold my hand when you need to let it go. Oh, I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seeds, plant a little happiness, let the roots run deep. If it's love that we give, then it's love that we reap. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seeds. Oh, I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. The door is always open, your picture's on the wall. Everyone's a little broken, but everyone belongs. Yeah, everyone belongs. Oh, I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're young and able, and bring us back together when the day is done. And bring us back together when the day is
Thank you, Amy and Jesse. Aren't we so blessed to be able to have their music always, always? I'm going to read the daily word for today. So the title of today's talk is right there, The Exodus, Your Path to Freedom. And today in the daily word, it says, I pray and affirm the highest good for all, prayer for others. I lift my mind and heart as I pray for my loved ones and all who come to me in need of prayer. I also bless the world with prayerful love and light. With steadfast faith, I trust the power of prayer. I envision divine love easing the uncertainty and hurt of those who are struggling, suffering, or going through challenging times. As I pray for others, I deepen in faith of my oneness with God and with all creation. Secure in the presence and power of my divine nature, I pray as I envision a world where everyone feels valued and lives at peace with themselves and all others. My heart is filled with love and compassion. Throughout the day, I keep my heart open and feel love and light flow outward from me to the world. Rejoice in hope, be patient in suffering, persevere in prayer. Romans 12:12. And now Reverend Mark's talk.
Unity on the Lakeshore. Mark Anthony Lord here, and we are in the middle of our Metaphysical Bible Camp, Winter Bible Camp, as you can easily see outside. I really hope you're keeping warm. Wow, this is a cold winter. I'm not loving it, and I'm stuck in it a little longer than I anticipated, but I'm streaming to you today because I'm in New York working at a retreat. So I'm happy to be with you, and I'm happy to do a metaphysical interpretation of one of my favorite Bible stories, because this one has everything in it. It's got the drama, it's got the characters, it's got everything that a good old story has to keep us interested. But again, as we always do when it comes to metaphysical Bible interpretation, when we apply the characters and the events to our own lives, the entire story becomes our own. It becomes current and relevant. And that is exactly what this story is going to do. The story of Moses setting the people free from Egypt, setting the Israelites free. The Israelites have been in captivity in Egypt for so long, so many generations, that they really had lost even the knowing of their freedom. You know, imagine just 5-10 generations going by where the 10th generation, it doesn't know anything different because it's just born into and repeating the idea of captivity. This is what's happening here. They're in Egypt. Pharaoh has them under his strong arm, and the Israelites are slaves. Now, already we can metaphysically begin interpreting this story, because the Israelites represent the freedom of thought, the freedom of believing and knowing who you are. And they get caught, they get trapped, they become slaves to fear, to control, to fitting in, to belonging, to being so immersed in the beliefs of the world in which you live that you don't even know yourself outside of them. This is where the Israelites are. They know themselves as slaves. They don't know themselves as free. They don't know how to be free. They don't even take the time to dream about it, probably. Well, here comes the hero in the story, Moses. Moses is actually a reluctant hero. He's out tending his sheep, doing his job out on the farm, quiet guy, and God appears. God appears to him in the symbol of a burning bush. And God says to Moses, I need you to set my people free. Well, as the story goes, Moses is reluctant. He's like, I am not your guy. I'm not a good speaker. I don't have what you need to accomplish the task. And Moses is so resistant, he even tries to send his brother in his place. But God says, no, You are the one that is called. Again, let's stop here because this is so powerful. This Moses metaphysically represents drawing out. The Moses in you is the spiritual quality of drawing you out of captivity, drawing you out of the limited stories, drawing you out of the belief of lack, drawing you out of the belief that you're even this body, that you're this world that you live in. Inherent in you, and this is the great news, inherent in you is an aspect of your spirit that will never forget the truth of you. And when it's turned on, when it's activated, the Moses in you will start tapping on your heart. It will start drawing you out of your own captivity. Now, as Moses in the story conveys his reluctance, that happens to us too, doesn't it? We feel reluctant. We know the truth of who we are. We feel our desires. We hear the dreams and the possibilities within us, but I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know what will happen. What will people think? This isn't a smart move. This is what we do. Even though we can feel the clear calling of freedom within us, we're so bound in the ways of the world, the ways that we live our world, and who we think we are, that when God calls you to be more, to stand up, to draw out of yourself your power, this is what we do. That's what Moses did. But God's not giving up. That part in you is not giving up. It's going to make you move forward eventually, no matter how resistant you are temporarily. Well, this is what happened in the story. And Moses is like, all right, who do I tell Pharaoh sends me? What am I going to say to this guy who's leading Egypt and who has all the Israelites captive? What am I going to say? Who sent me? God says, say, I am that I am. Now, that's confusing. But let's take a moment and unravel the brilliance of that. I am that I am. I am the capital I, capital A, capital M. I am the authority of my life. I am the power that can move mountains. I am the great expression of God. That's what I am. There's something so powerful about this because it points to the power of your word. What you say you are is what you are. I am a loser. I am not good enough. I am broke. As you attach these negative limiting ideas to your I am identity, that becomes your experience, but just as powerful. I am freedom. I am the authority that sets people free. I am the truth. I am the way. When we place on the I am the highest vibrational truth of your being, that is activated. Not only is it activated, it's remembered. You become aligned. And you don't have to effort when you're in the center of this because it is what you are. So God says to Moses, you are that I am, that God self that has the authority to speak for me. So Moses goes to Pharaoh and says, hey, you need to set the Israelites free. They're done being slaves and it's time to let them go. Well, Pharaoh's not going to say yes. He doesn't say yes. Why would Pharaoh say yes? He's got it made. He's got all these people doing all the work for him and for Egypt. Why would he consider letting them go? Back to you. Just because you have a little voice in you that says, hey, I should actually be happy, joyous, and free today. This is my truth. Let's do this. Do you think the parts of you that are invested in not being happy, the parts in you that are invested in your identity of belonging, fitting in, you think that those parts of you are just going to let go. Go, oh, okay, I'm done. No, the ego, fear, it fights. It fights for its existence. And it fights harder when you've spent a lifetime feeding it, making it true for you. Well, this is what this represents. Pharaoh represents the part in you that is committed, the egoic part that is committed to being the identity that you have invested your thoughts, your words, your energy, your days, your weeks, your months, your years, your lifetime into. It doesn't just stop because you say so. This is what happens. But this is where it gets cool. Moses keeps, he's like, all right, fine. Don't set him free on this first request. And then he comes back. And in the story, each time Pharaoh says no, there are these plagues that are put upon Egypt. So the first plague, the water is turned into blood in Egypt. Pharaoh says no again. The second plague, frogs are set, a massive infestation of frogs. Pharaoh says no. Here comes the lice. Pharaoh says no. Here comes the flies. Pharaoh says no. Here comes the boils. Then the livestock die. Then hailstorm. Then locust. Then darkness descends upon the land. And Pharaoh is finally being beaten down until finally the last plague, when Moses says, Pharaoh, set my people free. The final plague is that the firstborn in every household that is not an Israelite will be killed. This is the final plague. Now, this sounds like a really, really mean God, doesn't it? A God that's going to make life worse and make life worse and make life worse. But it's, again, we got to look at this metaphysically. When you know the truth about something, and if you say yes to the truth, you don't suffer. But when you resist, then life gets harder. And then you resist some more, and doesn't life get harder? And then you resist some more, and you become more and more miserable, more and more unhappy, because life is calling you. Life is saying, you deserve your freedom. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to express yourself. And if you're not going to do it, then the refusal to shine your light is not a punishment. It is simply what occurs by the law that is activated, that draws unto itself. Like draws unto itself. More fear draws more fear. More sadness draws more sadness. This is what happens to all of us. Sure, if we could, the first time we hear the whisper of our spirit calling us to our next great something, if we answered it, we aligned, we did it, no suffering, no struggle. But this story points to the resistance within all of us to our freedom. It points to the conditioning that even when life gets hard and harder and harder, we still find ourselves at times clinging to what we think is right, to who we believe we are, to who we believe other people are. We get very stuck in these false ideas about ourselves, about others, and about life. And the more we dig our heels in, the harder life becomes. The less friends we make, the less joy we experience. This is what this symbolizes. But Moses won't give up. The part in you that is meant to draw you out of all limitation, all boxes of identification, that part in you, it just keeps coming back. Just keeps coming back. And it says, okay, you don't want to live in your light today? Fair enough. Life needs to get a little more dark for you. I'll be back. That's what happens in the story. until this 10th and final plague. When sweeping through Egypt that evening, the firstborn of all the Egyptians were killed. Finally, Pharaoh says, "Go. I can't take it. Get out of here." And so in the story, Moses gathers up all the Israelites. They're all literally walking out of Egypt. They walk up to the Red Sea. And what does Pharaoh do? Pharaoh says, "Changed my mind again. Come back." And he sends his army after them. My God, like, doesn't that speak to the insanity of our ego? When everything points to what is true about us and we finally say yes to it, there still can be that part that says, no, no, no. This is what happens. But Moses is now in his authority, standing at the Red Sea. You know how it goes. He takes his staff, he puts it into the water, the Red Sea parts. The Israelites walk through the Red Sea, and as the Pharaoh and his army is coming towards them, the sea closes upon them. Moses and the Israelites find themselves on the other side in the wilderness. They have finally built up enough propulsive energy, which also comes from enduring all of those resistant moments, right? First time, not enough energy. Second time, not enough energy. Eighth time, ninth time, 10th time, there's finally enough. And this is what moves them. Now, this is where the story takes a real cool turn, because now Moses and the Israelites, imagine thousands of people, are now free. They're finally free from Egypt, finally free from Pharaoh controlling them. They're in a new land. But what happens? They don't know what to do. They don't know how to be free. They don't know how to be their own authority. They don't know how to live in their true power. They haven't done it. Not only have they not done it, their parents didn't do it, their grandparents didn't do it, their great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-grandparents. They don't remember how to live in their authority, how to live in their heart, how to be compassionate, how to care for themselves and others. So it becomes wild. It's the Wild West. They're totally free, and they don't know what to do. That too, man, we can relate to that. We finally get a little bit of freedom, and sometimes you just go sow those wild oats, or you've got that binge time or something like that, because you finally get a taste of a little bit of freedom. Now is the time when there is a reformation of the consciousness, the opportunity to live in the higher laws of spirit, to live in the higher laws of freedom, to live in the higher laws of ease and cooperation. This is spiritual awakening. When the old ways of living and moving and having your being are done, and you are lifted up into a new way of thinking and believing, doesn't mean that you know how to live there. You're putting on new training wheels. You're having to practice. You're having to slow down, because the old patterns, the old ways of thinking, living, and moving can grab you and pull you back. It can feel fun. It can feel wild, but it can also feel scary. And so Moses is now working overtime, and he's pulling leaders together, and he's forming a people. He's forming a structure for these people to live in. And people are pulling on him left and right all day long, and he can't sustain himself. So they literally develop leaders of leaders of leaders so that they can begin organizing themselves. And this is where Moses, in his meditation, is guided up to Mount Sinai, where he meets with God. And this is where he receives the 10 Commandments. Now, the 10 Commandments, that could be a metaphysical talk for sure, because now in this day and age, as people often do, fundamental people want to use the 10 Commandments as the law of the land now, but that's not what they're meant for today. The 10 Commandments metaphysically represent the higher laws, the ways for you to operate in your spiritual freedom. Now, for these people, it was literally like, look, don't take your neighbor's things. Don't sleep with your neighbor's wife. Don't do that. Don't kill somebody. Please don't dishonor your mother and father. They were real basic rules for them to learn how to be together. If those basic rules aren't fundamental in you, we've got to go back and we've got to get those in place so that upon them, the higher laws of what is available for you become your new terrain. That's what this story represents, I think, for you and for me. Now we are being called to live in the higher spiritual laws, the spiritual laws where truly is effortless, the spiritual laws where the power of your word is like a magic wand that causes healing, the spiritual laws that make you vibrate in love so clearly that when you walk in a room, healing is happening, harmony is taking place around you with no effort. This is what you are. You are the authority of your world. And you have within you the Moses that not only can draw you out of bondage, it can establish you in the authority of your mind so that you say to all these crazy thoughts, to all these patterns, to these addictive patterns, to these patterns that used to keep you trapped, you say to them, you will now come under my command. You do not run me. This is an important step along our spiritual path. We must realize that you have the authority to no longer be whipped around by the ways of the world, by the next fearful thought that swoops in. That is not spiritual living. Spiritual living is when you are centered in the I am that I am. And from that authority, all parts of you line up. Now you've got an army inside of you of energy, of beliefs and ideas, a creative force that is no longer divided. A creative force that isn't going, I want to go over here, I want to go over here, I want to go over here, I want to go over there. Weakening, fragmenting. That's why people cannot live in their power. They're fragmented and broken, and they keep entertaining opposing parts, and they keep letting opposing parts run them wild in the wilderness, like the Israelites when they first were set free. You are in a time, I'm in a time with you, where we must organize this energy. We must become the authority in love and in power and in the I am that says, negative thoughts, get thee behind me. You cannot hijack my day. You will not run me. And you will not cause me to make choices that keep me separate from God, separate from my good. Oh, there's so much possible for you. The land of milk and honey is promised them. Moses is guided to pass the authority to Joshua. Joshua is the one who was known to lead the Israelites to the land of milk and honey. Moses wasn't the one to do it. Moses' purpose was fulfilled in drawing them out of Egypt. It wasn't his purpose to move them into the promised land. You have within you also the Joshua. And so I invite you today inside yourself to pass the torch. You have been drawn out of old religious beliefs. You have been drawn out of the belief that God is separate and punishing and that should be feared. You have been drawn out of the belief in hell as a possible place where you will burn forever. You have been drawn out of so many limiting beliefs and ideas about God, about your identity, about the people around you, and about what's possible. You are not held captive in Egypt, and you haven't been for a long time. Now it's time to let the Joshua in you lead you, because the land of milk and honey, the promised land, where I spoke of these higher laws being your nature and your natural way, now it is time for that. And now it is time for the Joshua in you that effortlessly stands in the center of this power, unapologetically, no longer seeking approval, no longer needing to be affirmed or recognized or told you're okay. You don't do that anymore. You know who you are. You stand in the center of that with grace, with humility, with love. And you are the commander of your life. Aligned with God, from God, all this becomes possible. Some good stuff, isn't it? Let's take a breath. Let's do some prayer. Close your eyes. So much streaming at us today. Recognizing God as that one authority, the I am that I am. Activating that as the power of this prayer. Affirming right now that should any parts of us be caught in bondage, slavery to the low, earthly, egoic ways of thinking and believing, now they are freed by the power of this word. Let my people go. We say to any aspect of your being that is still trapped in addictive, limiting, fearful patterns, done. Let my people go. Pharaoh, you got no power over me anymore. Take a breath and imagine just blowing away all low vibrational belief systems, constructs of being, addictive patterns, done. Declare them done now. And I affirm that we together, we move easily into the land of freedom, the consciousness where you make new the rules and the ways of being that work for you first. And from there, you learn how to live and move in the authority of your spirit. This is what I say yes to for every one of us. We are now free. We are now living in the love that we are. We are now welcoming the higher laws of spirit where easeful creation happens, where you speak the word and it is done, where your faith is so powerful and so great that never shall you fall back or wonder or waver. God is my source. God is my identity. Vision is the gift that God has given me. I see the highest good and I manifest it. This is what now is available, and it is good, it is holy, it is blessed. And now I ask you to see inside of you a little Moses and a little Joshua. It doesn't matter how you see them. Imagine the Moses in you passing the torch to the Joshua in you. And imagine the energy of Joshua, the leader that knows who he is, the leader who is appointed, the consciousness inside of you that is pointed to make the final lap. to move you easily and gracefully into this beautiful land within yourself, the consciousness where there's no resistance, where there's no longer people pleasing, where you are so clear on who you are, what you are, and you bless all that come into your environment, all that come around you, known or unknown. You stand in this easeful, powerful place where you no longer are dictated by old patterns, by family ways, by societal systems that are not of God. It's over. Take a breath. Declare that this is over. It is done. It is done. Please breathe this in. Please let this be the day that you are born anew, established in your pure spiritual power. Take a deep breath. Say yes to this. Say yes to this. And a third time, say yes to this. And so it is. Amen. Whew, that was fun. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.
Thank you, Reverend Mark. Thank you for that great talk. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't run away. Now is our time of giving. So I ask that you please read the affirmation with me that's on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am thankful. And we are very thankful for our community and for the giving. And there are a few ways to do that. First of all is we have an option to give through Venmo. You can simply scan the QR code or use our name, Unity-Lakeshore is a great way to do this. The other is if you've already got it set up, is text to give. And you may still do that. Just send the word give to 616-236-5205. That's give to 616-236-5205. If it's your first time giving this way, you'll receive a link with instructions. If you have given before through text, then you can simply just text the dollar amount to this number. And you can also give online through our website at unitylakeshore.org/donations. And that link is actually in the chat here. And the other way to give is good old mail. And that's mailing a check to Unity on the Lakeshore, P.O. Box 848, Douglas, Michigan, 49406. If you're in need of any support, we have that for you in many different ways. First is to email us at unitylakeshore@gmail.com. You can also phone the office at 269-857-8226. And there is always the Unity silent prayer line that is 24/7, and that is 816-969-2000. If you haven't done so yet, please like our Facebook page. This is a way you can share about all the great things going on here and engage with others. You can find us at facebook.com/Unity Lakeshore, and please do that. We want to continue to get the word out about Unity and all that we're doing. And we have a wonderful board. We have a wonderful community, and let people know. Let it be heard. We are gathering and collecting jars of peanut butter for Allegan County Community Foundation and the Food Pantry Collective again, which is part of Ladders of Hope. And we'll be collecting them through February 23rd. So bring your jars into back to Unity when we're back in person, which is next week. I am personally excited to share that I'm doing the Artist Way again. I'm offering this online. It will be held on Thursday evenings. It's starting March 6th. And for more information, you can visit our website. There's a link on there. Please check it out. I've done this for over 20 years on and off, and I love doing it. I love facilitating it, and it's really great to do with a group. It is a book that changed my life in many ways. And Reverend Mark was actually in the original guinea pig group of the where the book came out of. And I took his course, and from there I started facilitating. So check it out. Go to our website. If you have any questions, contact me. That would be wonderful. A reminder, we're going to meet on Zoom after service. And so that link is in this chat as well. And we're going to have another song by Amy and Jesse singing Blessed Always.
Lakeshore, thank you again so much for having us. Such a joy to share our music with you. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Let's sing together our closing song, Blessed Always.
And we say together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Happy Sunday, everybody. See you in the Zoom room.